Hi, guys. My name is John, and I'm with The Real Rejects.
That feels like a good place for me.
You're welcome on anytime.
I feel like I'm home.
Both of you, if you want to come on and do some reaction videos and review some movies, you're welcome.
Oh my God, always. That's just how I live my life. So why not?
Perfection. Well, I appreciate the both of you for taking the time out to talk to me. This movie has been demolishing my heart for the past week and a half, and I hope the both of you burn in hell for what you did to Rocket Raccoon.
So sweet of you to say.
Anytime. So much. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I've been getting so many messages of just like, I hate you.
I was gonna say, are people starting to approach you on the street with like disdain in their eyes?
I mean, I live in New York City, so yes, but okay. I think that's just one day. I don't know if people would recognize me.
It took me a second. The thing is, I've seen the both of you before, and I had to go, oh, okay, because you've got all the makeup, and you're both bald and all that stuff. So, yeah.
But my kids haven't seen it yet, and I'm a little worried about when they do, if I'll have to get an Airbnb for a little bit before I can
book it in advance, just in case.
Just in case, yeah. I love that you're emotional about it. I've been reading that a lot. Some people are like, I've seen it 5 times, that was on Saturday. I was like, how? First and foremost, and well done. And thank you for feeling the feelings.
Absolutely.
Feel your feelings, America, world.
You heard it here first, and never before now. But that's a good segue because I feel like you both managed to create memorable characters out of the types of roles that could easily fall into that trap of just being requisite hench types, especially when you're next to such a huge personality as Chuck as the High Evolutionary. And throughout this, what I thought was great is you could feel the wheels turning under the surface of both Vim and Theel, and I got the sense there were probably a ton of thoughts and feelings that you can't say out loud in that position, but I got the sense that they were definitely there. So how did you go about humanizing and inhabiting these two characters, and what notes did you in particular have in mind for, how to play their particular personalities?
Well, for me, Theel is, he is a survivalist. Survival at any cost is what his motivation was. And also his proximity to power. He just relishes the fact that he is sort of like one of the top 2 people in the High Evolutionary's life, and he will do whatever to make his master happy. And that's why he is so evil, because, he's going to keep messing with people, because who's going to mess back when you got this guy protecting you? So, that's what it was for me.
The high purple knuckle. No, I think there's some of that for Vim too. And I think the other thing is that she really has the hubris to believe that she has a higher calling, right? So she's a zealot, and believes that, and believes herself to sort of be unemotionally involved and scientific about it, and has that crisis of realization when, that I'm curious about as a person and as an actor to look at, that's so human in our history. People who follow the worst people in the world right over that cliff. What is that moment when they realize they're going over the cliff? And would they turn back? And do they try to turn back? And what does that look like? Those are real questions. Those are big questions. Those matter, and that's what sci-fi and science fantasy does so well, is asks those huge questions, and it has room for them. It makes room for them. And that's why I love it. And I love these kinds of stories. And so that was kind of like what I was digging into too in that moment for her.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. And was that anything, how much of that was your craft just kind of left to play versus what you built with James and Chuck on those dynamics in particular?
James and I talked about a little bit, but we all talked about a little bit about this being a zealot, right? And being a believer, and that the high evolutionary, the high Evo is a creator, and people who follow the teachings or the what the creator tells them to do, no matter what, without question. And it's all about your relationship to the creator, right? That's kind of one of the through lines of this movie. Can you change your perception of who you are and what you were created to do? And these people are very much created to do. They have it built into their skulls. Like, here's what to do. Yeah, you're a recorder. So, there's that. But yeah, so some of it was talking about it, and some of it was just like the nerdy sci-fi nerd in me that was like, I'll write a 62,000 page dissertation on this, and we'll discuss later. Because that's what I'm all about. And part of being an actor too, that's what I love. But yeah, and then getting to work with Chuck and Nico, and like see how that what that looks like in the room, when we actually get it up on a live. And
I think that was the really fun part, was sort of recalibrating your expectation or perception of the character based on working with your scene partners. Because I definitely sort of like had my initial well, this is how I'm approaching the character, but then you get on set with amazing actors like Miriam and Chuck and James directing you, and you see the performance that they're giving you, and you have no choice but to sort of mirror that and give it right back. And so it sort of just upped everybody's game because you're working with such incredible people.
Absolutely. And I saw that video James posted of y'all having like that dance party on set and whatnot, and that looked super fun for such a grim circumstance. And I was wondering too then, was there any particular song or music type that you used to get into character to help build kind of the feeling of the characters?
Well, Chuck had this beautiful operatic music that he would have in his scenes in the laboratories, and it's so gorgeous and ominous and really evocative, and you couldn't not. I mean, the crew, like the DP would be like, woo, like you just are so feeling this when you're in there. But then James would sometimes play, he would play different songs. Maybe play Alice Cooper, he would play different things, because he understands so brilliantly and how music connects you nostalgically to an emotion that connects you to whatever the emotion in the scene is. And that's why the music in the movies work so well.
Yeah.
And he also understands, it's just, can I swear? Am I allowed to swear? It's just so fun.
For it.
Insert expletive.
I'm gonna insert a medley of expletives
all
there.
The expletives. It's just so fun. He believes in that fun, and I think that's why people respond to his movies.
We got the soundtrack for the movie early on. We were given these are the songs that are going to be in the movie. So you really sort of got into the mindset of whatever that emotion was for the scenes for when these songs were going to get plugged in, because James knows how, like you said, how important that is for the final product. So it was really helpful to sort of get that list of songs and be like, oh, this is what's going to be playing.
Yeah, it matters to him. It matters to him.
Yeah.
And that seems like kind of a dream come true, knowing and having that ability to actually pipe that stuff in and, not being worried that it'll be swapped out for something completely different later.
Why is Barbie Girl playing on this song?
Hey, I mean, now's the time, if ever there was a time. Ride that wave.
Yeah.
Theel's just a Ken. But yeah, was there anybody you'd spend a lot of time with Chuck on screen, but was there anybody in the main Guardians cast that you particularly hit it off with, or, maybe sort of, you're new to this found family. Did anybody kind of take you under their wing?
What I'll say is that everyone was welcoming. Everyone was kind. They've all been doing this for years. Okay. And they didn't have to, they could have just been like, yeah, show up, do your job, be a professional, which of course they were, and we were, but it wasn't like that. It was like, we're all here to play. And that comes from James. Yeah. James immediately is like, I want you here. You have a part to play in this thing that I wrote that we're going to make together. Come on, play in the sandbox. And you're like, oh, hell yes. So it starts from him. And then Chris was just a delight. Karen's hilarious, first and foremost. I have a little fan crush on Karen.
Yeah. But I think that was the really amazing part about being involved in this production, is that nobody was made to feel like their job didn't matter. It didn't matter if it was Crafty or Chris Pratt's role. Everybody was working towards the same goal, making sure this movie gets made and, goes without a hitch. And that is a labor of love for everybody, not just James. But yeah, we were never made to feel stupid or dumb for asking questions or asking for something that we needed. We were welcomed with open arms. And to James, everybody's job was important. You were there to make this all happen.
His level of respect is really important. Yeah. It's not a given on a Hollywood set.
No, it's not.
Especially on a
no, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
But I want to say also that Bradley Cooper, who's a freaking dreamboat genius, we all know. We know Brad, but he is.
You're on record saying this multiple
times. But Sean Gunn, who played Rocket physically, when, you know, then Bradley puts the voice in somehow brilliantly later. I don't know that, I don't understand his skill, but anyway, he's just too talented. It's annoying. But Sean, I mean, there were moments that were so moving. Do you remember, Nico? To have Sean, wow, like when you see his level of commitment, when you're working with him, and to have those eyes, I mean, I just want to, I want to shout out Sean Gunn too. It's just an all around amazing human, but incredible actor, incredible, you know, that was also really fun to get to see how that was done, you know?
Oh,
we really had to sort of take a moment at the end of the day to just shake out the evils. Like, oh God, we're so evil.
Well, especially when you have somebody like Sean to stare at during some of these scenes, I'm sure.
Break your heart, you know, really. Yeah. It's, I mean, I cried a lot watching this movie, both times.
Yes.
Oh, same. This is probably the most I've consistently cried through a movie since Everything Everywhere All at Once, probably.
I know. I was like dehydrated by the end of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I need an IV.
So that's lovely to know that you know, aura kind of permeated every step of the process, from the production to just what we get to see as fans. And I'm very curious. I heard you say in a different interview that you guys worked out some sort of Recorder Broadway number. Is there any chance over the massive confusion of Zoom to recreate that a little bit here?
Listen, it's the pure deep down dork in me that was like, how funny would it be if these two people did a Broadway show?
They're the perfect two people.
Sort of like an 80s sitcom theme songy Broadway. It just seemed like, you know, Vim is a teal, teal's with Vim, you know, like.
I'm trying to remember the lyrics.
I can't, and
they'll open you up and cover you in steel, something,
rip off your arms and replace them with steel.
Steel.
Just
we're going to Van and Steel. Genetic experiments.
Because it's so. That's apparently how I start my jobs. Is I write a ridiculous song and perform it with my new best friend for my boss. That's what I do.
Yeah,
they work. Do you not do that?
Listen, when
things I'm working on, I try to at least come up with the first verse and chorus at least, you know. And maybe this was first day. This was
our first day on set when this musical thing happened. So when Miriam was like, "I wrote a musical," I was like, "You're my best friend."
Yeah, and then the fact that we were like, "James, we're doing this thing," and he was like,
record it.
And then I was like, we're friends. We're all friends.
Yes.
We're all gonna be okay, good to know. Good to know.
You got to make sure that winds up on the DVD extras if he's still
I don't know.
That footage.
It's on his phone, unless he.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that phone must be in Kevin Feige's vault somewhere.
Made me laugh. Yeah, I don't know. I'll do anything for a laugh. Apparently.
That's. I mean, and in an environment like this, that is a good thing, I would say. And then I guess, you know, one thing I'm required by law as a nerd to ask is, you know, with James now heading up the DC universe, and everybody says, like, we love working with James, you know, like, I'm sure it would be lovely to join with him, but is there any character over there? If you were given just carte blanche to play anyone, you know, would you want to jump into that side of things, or are you ready to get back to not massive?
I have a pitch.
Sounds like you're saying I look like Wonder Woman. That's what I heard you say.
That's basically what I said.
Thank you. And it's not the first. But
Miriam,
what?
I have a pitch.
Oh, okay.
I think we should play the Wonder Twins.
Wonder Twin powers activate.
Get your fist in there.
Activate. Form up an ice bucket.
Or a totally useless bucket of water that will.
Yes.
Not at all. Twins, Jesus Christ! Go fix yourself a sandwich.
Form up a sandwich.
Why?
Start this hashtag right now.
Oh my God!
I would get
Nico and Miriam for Wonder Twins.
I literally would get so frustrated because I would be like, "Why are they doing? That is not helpful in this moment."
Ice.
We need
ice. That's what your power is.
Why is there an eagle? And what is that monkey doing? Jesus Christ.
Good. Just join up the Peacemaker season 2 intro. You can do all the dance moves there.
Yeah, I do love that dance. I think.
Great.
That's when you know you love James Gunn. That's when you're like,
when you've learned the dance. Yeah, exactly.
Well, when you see the dance, you're like, anyone else got to dance to their opening? No, you don't.
Well. Well, guys, I'm being given the vehement wrap-up sign, but it has been such a joy and a pleasure talking to the both of you. Thank you just for being so open and jovial, and for making my day as a fan, and just as a theater kid and all the other stuff. It's been a real joy. So I appreciate you both very much.
You're welcome, and thank you for
thank you.
Appreciate it, and you're welcome on the channel anytime. You heard it here.
Oh, again, I heard him say I look like Wonder Woman. Is that not what he said?
No, I heard it.